There's an app on your phone you haven't opened in days. You know exactly which one. It's not that you forgot. Part of you decided not knowing feels safer than looking. And there's a reason your brain does that. It's quietly costing you in the dark. You're in the kitchen, phone in your hand, thumb over the icon. And then you put it down and pick up the other one instead. This isn't a bad with money thing. This is your brain, on autopilot, protecting you from something it's got completely wrong. Most people never find out what it's called. By the end of this, you will. But you didn't start here. To get the kitchen, you have to go back to the first time you decided looking was the dangerous part. You're 23. There's an envelope on the counter you've been walking past for 2 weeks. You know what it is. It's the student loan statement. And the number in there isn't going to be smaller than last time. So what's the point of opening it? So you don't. You slide it under a magazine, out of sight, and something in your chest actually loosens. That's the part nobody tells you. Avoiding it works. The relief is real. For about a day. Because the envelope doesn't go anywhere, and neither does the number. It just sits there in the dark, growing, where you can't argue with it. You don't know it yet, but you just taught your brain a rule. Looking hurts. Not looking feels better. And your brain? Straight A student. Fast forward. You're 28, and the envelope's an app now. Faster, too. You don't even have to walk past anything. The bad news just lives in your pocket, one tap away. So you stopped tapping. You pay what you can. You guess at the balance. You've gotten weirdly good at it, estimating exactly how broke you are without ever once checking. And here's the thing. You'd swear you're being careful. Not looking feels like caution, feels responsible even, like you're protecting yourself. But you're not protecting your money. You're protecting your mood. 2 completely different jobs. And somewhere along the line, you let one quietly cover for the other. Meanwhile, across town, Theo's doing great. Or it looks that way. New jacket, dinners out, the group photos. Guys clearly got it handled. What you don't see is that Theo hasn't opened his app either. Same play you're running, just with better lighting. What looks like winning is a tab he won't read. Same as yours. Nobody on that treadmill is actually checking the speed. You don't know it yet, but the more there is to look at, the less you look. That's not random. That's the pattern. And it's got a name. Now, I'm going to show you the shift that turns the app from a threat back into a tool. 60 seconds. Almost embarrassingly simple. But it won't stick until you see what your brain's actually doing. Because this isn't a willpower thing. It's documented. Back in 2009, some researchers watched how investors behaved, and they caught something strange. When the markets dropped, people checked their accounts less. Not more, less. They looked away at the exact moment the news went bad. So the researchers named it the ostrich effect. Head in the sand, not looking on purpose to dodge information that might hurt. And here's the part that should bug you a little. These weren't careless people. They were investors. People who, by definition, care about the number. And caring didn't save them. The urge to look away just beat the urge to know. So if you've ever felt stupid for not checking, let that go. It's not stupidity. It's a reflex. It's sitting in almost everyone. The only real question is whether you can catch it happening. So, you're back in the kitchen. 34. Phone face down on the counter, right where you left it. Except tonight, you're not alone with it. Dana's there. Wiping down the counter, not even looking up. A friend, a roommate, doesn't matter. Someone who's known you long enough to skip the speech. You say it out loud. Half a joke. Haven't checked my account in like a week. Already bracing for the lecture. But she doesn't lecture. She just goes,
"You already know it's bad. That's why you're not looking. So, what's the app actually telling you that the dread isn't?"
And that one lands somewhere the lectures never did. Because she's right. The dread already gave you the bad news. You've been paying for a terrible balance every single day, the full emotional price, and not even getting the information back. You're being charged for the look. You're just not taking it. So you pick it up. You don't make a plan first. You don't promise to be better. You just open it. And, okay, the number's bad, about what you feared. Nothing magic happens. But watch what doesn't happen. It doesn't reach out and hurt you. It just sits there. Information. Something you can finally do something with, instead of a ghost you've been running from. And that's the flip. Here's the whole thing, the reframe. The number was never what could hurt you. The not looking was. A bad balance you can see is a problem. A bad balance you won't look at is a direction, quietly compounding in the dark, nobody watching, picking up speed. Looking doesn't make it worse. Looking is the first second it stops getting worse. That reflex, looking away right when it matters most, that's the ostrich effect. And the cruel little joke of it is that it goes after the people who care. People who don't care don't avoid their accounts. They just don't think about them. The avoiding, that's what caring looks like when it's scared. So you stop trying to feel less scared. You just look anyway. Scared and looking beats calm and blind, every time. Here's the line to keep. The number in that app can't hurt you. Only the days you won't read it can. Maybe you're like Dana, already glancing at it like it's the weather. Or maybe, right now, you're more like Theo, looking like you've got it handled, with one tab you won't let yourself open. Either way, it's not discipline you're missing. It's one tap you've been bracing against. The dread already charged you for it. Might as well take what you've paid for. So before this video carries you off somewhere and the moment's gone, open the app. Look at the number. Let it just be a number. Then tell me in the comments, what did the dread have you picturing versus what was actually there? I read those.